Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I'm not here for very long, but I wanted to share something real quick that I hope it helps somebody. It was just a thought that crossed my brain. I know that on the Black Financial Channel, I'll do some analysis on what's happening in the stock market today and stuff like that. There's a lot to discuss, but I was thinking about some things I saw online. I saw a couple of people that either there was a few people online that were showing some signs of what might be defined as a mental illness, mental health challenges that come from the internet. The internet is a crazy place. There's a lot of crazy people out here screaming and hollering, trying to get attention. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that black people, we were denied attention for so long. We were denied access to media for so long that there are people that are using the internet to get access to something that they weren't able to get before. And while there are some people who take it in stride, who don't take it too seriously, internet famous is okay, but it's not, as big of a deal as some people make it. There are some people who I believe let it get to their heads a little bit. And they let it get to their heads in a couple of ways. I've seen a few people, and I'm not naming anybody's names. You can figure out who's what and who's who, but I've seen a few people where they get a little famous and they really start to think, I'm the shit, I'm so important, look at me, look at me, look at me, I'm a big superstar. And they start using their power to attack people and to really get nasty with people and cussing people out and calling people names and stuff like that. And that's real, real sad and unfortunate, because, well, first of all, there are probably some people that will eventually get locked up over this. I'm just afraid of the day where somebody ends up getting killed or whatever, shot, because of some stuff going on online. And then I've seen people just break down. You've had people commit suicide because of what was going on online. I see y'all keep saying Kanye. That's so funny. My Instagram, by the way, is the real Boyce Watkins. So we have good conversations over there if you want to join. But Kanye might be in that category, but actually Kanye is a little bit different in my opinion because Kanye was always famous. Even before the internet, he was already out there. He already had platforms. He could go on radio, TV, all that. Now you got a lot of people who couldn't get on radio, couldn't get on TV, and they get on the internet and suddenly, maybe they got 10,000 followers, 5,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and in their mind it becomes a big deal. And I'm not judging that one way or the other. I mean, it's fine. You can use the platform for however you'd like to use it. But I want to encourage anybody out there who is using social media on any level, please monitor your mental health. Monitor your mental health really for your sake. I mean, of course, we could talk about the ethical implications of using your platforms to attack people or, to disgrace people or to shame people or to hurt people's feelings. That's one side of it. Where you do have some bullying, some real interesting cyberbullying going on, which is really sad. But then it's also like that pressure. I've seen people go crazy because they're getting a Twitter back and forth and go nuts, and it affects everybody. I remember one time, I'm gonna tell you all the truth. This is something I don't talk about much, but this happened. I remember I had a Twitter debate with Mark Lamont Hill. And Mark Lamont Hill and we don't agree on a lot of stuff. And we were just going back and forth, back and forth. Every time I said something, he say something back. I say something, he say something back. And the thing is, I respect Mark. I don't agree with Mark, but actually I like Mark. It's just some of the stuff he says doesn't fit with who I am, but I don't take it personally. Like, that's where I am as a person, as a human being now. But I remember being so annoyed. Like how was he saying this? Like, what is this crap? Blah, blah, blah. And you can get caught up in that. I don't know if anybody else, tell me if anybody else has ever gone through that, where you just get into an internet fight with somebody. Maybe it's a troll. Maybe it's somebody who's just dogging you and calling you a name or whatever. And you just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the reason I want to warn you guys about that is because that really drains a lot of your spiritual energy. You don't feel good when it's done. And also you end up wasting a lot of time. You waste a lot of time. So one trick I would throw out there for you guys is, number one, try not to take it that seriously. It ain't that serious. If it's pissing you off that much, find a way to detach and let it go. The way I handled that thing with Mark when I found myself getting so mad was I said, you know what? The debate's over. It's done. Who cares who wins this debate? Life will go on. I'm going to go back to my woman and my kids and live my life, right? So I would encourage you to do that. And definitely don't let people get to you like that. It's I mean, people can be nasty. I mean, you have people that are just miserable people that will get online, and if they feel like they can really mess with you, like they're gonna do that, right? Especially if you have a bigger platform. Like I have, a few 100,000 people on different YouTube channels and Facebook pages and all that. And when you get that many opinions coming at you at once, if you don't know how to process that and have real strong boundaries, spiritual boundaries on what you'll receive and what you won't receive, you will lose your mind. You will go crazy. So establish your boundaries, right? And this goes for everybody, whether your platform has 50 people on it or 50 million, figure out your boundaries and maintain your mental health. You must, in fact, detaching from social media for a little bit is something a lot of people are doing. And I think it's a great, healthy exercise. Remember, I live with a therapist, right? So she sees all the chaos on social media and the mental health issues and stuff like that. I've read stories about young people killing themselves, after being cyberbullied and stuff like that. And there ain't nothing happening on the internet that's worth you killing yourself. Ain't nothing happening on the internet that's worth you being miserable. There's nothing on the internet that's worth you feeling depression, or nothing on the internet worth raising your blood pressure. Nothing on the internet worth you driving yourself to the point where you're gonna have a damn heart attack. So just take it into stride. And I'll give you a little bit of my backstory. I got a little bit of exposure to what it means to be in the public eye back when I was 25 years old. I was writing for my campus newspaper at the University of Kentucky. And for some reason, I didn't even know that I was a good writer. I just happened to have this writing talent. I would write articles and everybody would read them. And I was like, oh, I didn't know I could write. I failed English class. I've said when I was in middle school, I failed English class every damn year. The last day of school, I swear to God, it was my English teacher. Her name was Miss Gleaves. She looked like a witch. She probably rode a broom to school. And I thought that I had failed English again. And I thought I was going to have to go to summer school. And I saw Miss Gleaves on my last day of high school when I was at Ballard High School in Louisville, Kentucky. And I said, Miss Gleaves, did I pass your class? And she said, and she looked at me. She gave me these like sad puppy dog eyes, like she felt sorry for me. She said, Boyce, you got a D minus. I was like, yes, that means I passed. I was so happy to get a D minus. I ran out of school. I said, I ain't never come back to this fucking place again. That's how bad I was at English, right? I don't know. I didn't know sentence structure and grammar and all that. But what happened was I used to, when I did my freshman year of college, I had a theater teacher who would teach us how to journal and how to detail and document things in extreme detail. She would make us go see a play, and we'd have to write an essay about the play and describe everything that we saw. And so I learned how to do that, and I found that was very therapeutic. So because I was crazy like half the black men out here. I was half crazy dealing with being black in America will drive your ass insane. We know this. So I used to keep that journal back in the day, and I would just write in this journal, and I would keep detailed, like records of things and describe things. And what it did was it gave me the ability to write from an intuitive standpoint. And also I did a lot of reading because in college I wanted to do well in school. I'd never done good in school before, and I wanted to have a future. So I decided in college, I was like, okay, I'm going to give 40 hours a week to studying like nonstop. And so I was reading all these books, and from all the reading and all the writing, I came to know what a good sentence sounded like. I couldn't tell you why it sounded right or wrong. I just knew it. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, that don't work. Say it like this, right? And so anyway, that came out. I started writing in the campus paper because of the racism that was on my campus. University of Kentucky is a terribly racist place. It's still racist to this day. And every time I would write, like all the white people would get pissed and they'd be writing death threats, and you know how they do, right? And the black people would be cheering like, "Ooh, yeah, go brother, go!" Right? And you get caught up in that. I'm 25 years old, and I never had, I'd never been in that position before, so it was like kind of cool. You go around places and people know your name, and people giving you free food, and the girls like you suddenly, and you're like a big deal. But then I learned there's a dark side to that. There's a dark side to that in that, number one, you're going to be hated. You might be loved more than you've ever been loved, but you're going to be hated more than you've ever been hated in your life. People will hate you. Like, I'd meet people and I'd say, hi, my name is Boyce. And they'd be like, yeah, I know who you are. Right? Or it'd be like, yeah, I know who you are. Right? It was never one or the other. Like, imagine if everybody you meet has already formed a relationship with you. Like, there was a Twilight Zone episode like that. Jordan Peele is doing the Twilight Zone on CBS, and it's really, really good. And in that episode, this girl meets a guy who's like the perfect guy, and he just knows everything. He knows her next move. He knows her past and all this stuff, and she couldn't understand how he knew everything. Well, what happened was he was stuck in a time loop, so he was living the same day over and over and over again. So he was already in love with her before they even met. He was already like, "I love you," and we've had this conversation 800 times, and this, that, and the other. And she didn't even know this guy. She had just met the guy. So being in the public eye is a little bit like that. A lot of people already know you really well, and you don't even know this. So you'll tell them a story. Like, I'll be somewhere and I'll be like, yeah, one time when I was in the 10th grade, this happened, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, yeah, oh, I know that story. You said it on your podcast. I know about I know about your grandma. Your grandma's name is Felicia. So it's a little bit of a weird, loopy experience. And the thing is that when you first get exposed to it, it can easily go to your head, good or bad, right? The good stuff can inflate your ego. The bad stuff can drive you insane. And so what would happen is you either have the people that hated your guts, and that hurts, right? When people hate you and they don't even know you. And then second of all, though, you'd have the people that love you to death, but that love is very fickle. Like, like people will love you 1 minute because you said something they want to hear, and then they hate you the next minute because you said something they didn't want to hear. Oh man, I thought you was keeping it real, bro. You ain't keeping it real. You a sellout. You a old Uncle Tom, blah, 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 right? So eventually you learn how to realize, like, look, all that matters at the end of the day, and I think this is a great, like, process for life in general, is what you learn eventually is that all that matters is what you think about yourself. All that matters is, do you love yourself? It doesn't matter, does that person like you or not like you? They may like you today and hate you tomorrow, hate you today, love you tomorrow. But at the end of the day, you can't get externally what you're supposed to get internally. That which comes from outside is not as of high quality as that which comes from within. So find your self-love and find that balance. And that's why I feel so bad for a lot of young people that get really big on social media really early before they learn these basic lessons, is they don't have that balance, so they go through something where they make a mistake or they say something wrong, and next thing you know, cancel culture swoops in and people are talking crazy about them and putting their address online and talking about their mama, and they can't handle it. So next thing you know, they done killed themselves because your whole foundation of your whole being of who you are was built on what other people think. So don't ever do that, man. That's just bad. So anyway, that's the thought that I wanted to share. I hope that this helps somebody. And also, those people out there that are either creating disunity in the black community or using their platforms to bully people. I hope that you'll kind of join me in kind of saying, look, we don't want to see that. Like, if you see two people that have a big platform and they start fighting each other, for show, because that's what happens. People will egg it on. People will sit in the middle and be like, oh, did you hear what so-and-so said about you? They'll say it in the chat, and then they'll go back to the other person like, oh, well, they responded. Here's a link to that video where they were just talking about you. And because people are caught up in the hype of it all, they'll make it into this damn boxing match. And unfortunately, there's a lot at stake, like the future of our communities at stake, and so when you have prominent people that have been honored with community respect, where you've actually blessed them and graced them by giving them your attention and giving them the platform, I personally believe you should not tolerate that level of immaturity. I think all you got to do, because I believe the power belongs to the people that are like supporting platforms. And so I think that maybe you can come in and say, look, I understand you're mad at this person or you don't like what they said, but we're not going to sit here and listen to you cuss out somebody that we admire. Y'all need to go figure this out and work this out because we got to be on the same team. So that's my philosophy, and I'm okay with being held to that same standard. Everybody gets caught up in it, right? Sometimes you get mad and you be like, oh man, that guy, I can't believe he did this and did that. I think it's okay to kind of say, all right, boys, you know what? I thank you for mentioning how you feel about this, but we need you to get back to talking about something that's going to be beneficial to us. If you can't do that, then I'm not interested in listening to you anymore. So that's what it is. That's my 2 cents. That's what I think, and I'm not changing a damn word for nothing or nobody. So I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for listening. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. And also, I'll mention this more often. If you want to get t-shirts like this, you can go to wokeblacktees.com. That's wokeblacktees.com. And just in case anybody's mentioned any specific names in the chat as I'm talking about this, I'm not even going to say those names because I told you guys a year and a half ago, this was after a lot of continuous spiritual growth that I'm hoping to have. It was after getting leadership coaching from someone who was helping me to just use my influence in a more productive way. I told you guys almost 2 years ago, I said, I'm not really out here. I'm not going to be fighting with no black people online. I'm just not going to do it. So if you mention names and you say, oh yeah, he's talking about this person or that person, 9 times out of 10, I'm not even going to say their name. If I mention it, it'll be quick. At the end of the day, I want to get back to adding value to your life. Like, that's really why I'm here. That's what I'm supposed to do. And if I'm not doing that, then you shouldn't be paying attention to anything that I'm saying. All right, guys. So take care. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. Sign up for drboycetv.com if you'd like to. Also, I have a podcast, audio podcast on Spotify called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. It's the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, the drboycebreakdown.com if you want to look for it online. And it's a Spotify podcast. It's audio in case you want to listen in your car. You guys asked for it, so I created it. So feel free to check that out too. So take care, guys. I'm out. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Peace.